So I've got another video here. This is a project that I worked on. This was for BET, and it was in combination with Sprite. And this was a shoot that we did for a rapper named Bino. And he's actually from Oklahoma City, but he also does some stuff here in Dallas. And this was for a show. This was back in 2019, I think. So, yep, just before the wonderful 2020. Anyway, this was a shoot that actually had a little bit more of a crew than normally. A lot of times when I shoot, it's a very minimal crew because we're, moving really quick. This one we moved quick as well, but we did have more of a crew. So just kind of going down the list, we actually had, aside from the BET set, we had an EP, we had a director on site from there. We had a line producer, a couple production coordinators, office PA, and then on my side, the crew that I brought in was me as the DP and also A cam, had a B cam. Which is a great friend of mine that did that. We had an AC, we had audio, we had grip, we had a media manager, and we had 2 PAs. So we actually had a little bit more crew than usual. You'll notice that we didn't have a gaffer, and that was mainly because most every place that we filmed was on location, and we did use some lighting here and there, but just really minimal. And for the most part, we really were just trying to use the available lighting that was there. Anyway, I'll share a link with you of the original video on YouTube from BET, and that way you can watch the video and take a look at everything. I'm going to do, again, just kind of a breakdown of what we shot, how we shot, what the whole thing was, and I'm going to get right into that. So here we go. So we shot this whole thing in Dallas. This is in Deep Ellum, and this was just some slow-mo shots that we did on a gimbal. So we shot everything with Blackmagic cameras, and the producer initially wanted Arri cameras. They wanted Alexa Minis, and we tried to budget for that, to rent some out, and it was just kind of outside of the budget range that they had. And I asked them why they wanted the Arri, and they said the main reason was because they wanted to shoot in ProRes. The director was a little bit hesitant about shooting on Blackmagic because they didn't have any experience with it, but I told them it would be fine. And so I worked with the pocket camera and the Ursa, and then the second camera also had the same kind of equipment. And again, you can see from the footage and the grading, everything looked fine. We shot everything in a flat profile, and it all kind of worked out just good. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go from the beginning here and show you what the video, how we put it together, and kind of some of our shot choices here. Again, going to the very beginning, this was shot kind of towards the end of the shoot day. So you can see it's very heavily backlit. There's a little bit of effect put onto it, but not a whole lot. And got the little title sequence going, and then you can kind of see here he is actually talking to the camera. And so again, we had it completely backlit. We were on a gimbal for this shot, and there was basically, nothing was really locked off. I think we had a PA at the end of the street just kind of asking people to walk around. But, we didn't really have to worry too much about permitting in the area. We just kind of got this done, and we did this a few takes. I just kind of like the backlighting here in the area. These shots here were done by B-Cam, and that was kind of the advantage of having 2 cameras, is that one of us could work on one thing, another one could work on something else. So a friend of Bino had this Bentley, and I shot on the inside, and then this shot was done by B-Camera. B-Camera, his name is Ron Gonzalez. He's a great Dallas, Fort Worth-based DP in his own right, and shoots a lot of amazing work, episodic things, motion pictures. So he's a great talent to have, and someone that's a real benefit to have working with me on this kind of a shoot. And again, just a lot of this nice kind of backlighting that we wanted to have. You can see that in post, they blurred out the license plate. And so again, I was on the inside, he was on the outside. And then we did this right here where they wanted kind of an interview style thing. And so we found this mural in Deep Ellum near downtown Dallas. And I just really liked the location. And so I kind of framed it up in this way to really kind of give that texture, especially of the American flag, having that on the wall with him there. And then Ron shot this close-up of him as well, which is really nice, and just has some really nice lighting on his face. And again, this was all just kind of natural existing lighting. We may have brought in a little bit of bounce here and there, but otherwise it's just kind of natural lighting. And then what we did was, this is kind of our first location for the day, and you can clearly see it's a barber shop. And so what we did was just kind of like a day in the life of Bino, and so this was our first one that we did. Everyone that was in there was just someone that happened to be at the location. This is the actual barber. I think that they kind of called in some friends to come and sit down and hang out while we filmed in there. But it was an active location. And so the same kind of thing, what we try to do is we try to utilize the natural light. So to the right hand side is where we had windows, shining light in. This was kind of mid-morning light. So, pretty indirect light, nothing too harsh. And then we just had to play with the natural lighting that was in the space. So you see the track lighting up here on top, fluorescent lighting up from the ceiling. And we just kind of put the sequence together. And again, Ron and I both kind of split duties as far as getting tights and wides. A lot of times, one of us will shoot the wider shots, another one will shoot the tight shots, grab cutaways, things like that. So all of the detail shots that were in here. Let me go back again. Just going to show these little cutaways. These little cutaway pieces, I believe Ron shot these, and again, it just kind of gives you some texture and just kind of introduces the space. This was a project that we just shot it, and then we sent it off to be edited. So again, when you're in that kind of a situation, you try your best to shoot as much coverage as you can. Try and get as many shots, as much interesting, cutaways and takes that you can get. And then the same thing, we just kind of followed him in. This looks like it was actually handheld. Most of the stuff was actually handheld, again, to kind of give a gritty feel to it, some texture to it. And then, again, just the nice thing about this space is there's so much detail, a lot of texture on the walls. There's a lot of things that you can shoot into. So we didn't have any lack of interest there. Clearly, the mirrors were something that we had to avoid. So, we're always trying to shoot at angles anyway. I like to shoot into corners as opposed to shooting flat onto things. So that's what you can kind of see as we're going through this. And then we just kind of getting the texture of it. We were probably in this location for about an hour or so, and just kind of grabbing all these little pieces. And a lot of these, of course, would have been long takes that we just rolled on. So as we would just continuously roll, and then we would adjust framing as we went. I'm trying to remember what lenses that we used, and I'm thinking that we might have used a little bit of a mix of zoom and prime. So then we went on to the second location, which is this Wing City, which is actually right by the barbershop, which was nice and close. I will say I wasn't a big fan of the actual location here, and this is a friend of Bino's. They're like best buds, and so the two of them basically, again, the idea was them just having food together, talking about Bino's career, talking about what the plans were, things like that. And this is one where we didn't have a whole lot of choice. We had this table that was up against the wall, as you can see here. I'm going to go back right here. So we had this wall, but we didn't have a whole lot of depth. And again, I wasn't a real big fan of it. And then Ron and I would kind of share the angles, so he would be over the shoulder of I think of Bino, and I was over his friend's shoulder, and then we had this other friend that was over here as well. So and the other thing, I'm not a big fan of filming people eating. It's not the most not the prettiest thing to show, but that's kind of what we were tasked with. And again, you can kind of see here, and here he is. And the nice thing is, he is addressing the camera every once in a while. But again, there's not a whole lot to look at in this space. You have a white wall, you have this blue wall with a white mural on it, and there's just really not a whole lot of texture or space or depth to work with. So it was a little bit difficult to get something. But sometimes that's just what you get. You work with what you have, and we, like a lot of these kind of projects, we don't know until the minute that we get there what we're filming and what we're faced with. So we might be spending 10, 15, 20 minutes just looking around the location, trying to figure out what's the best spot. And this is kind of what we got. So Again, there was a lot of natural lighting. I'll reverse real quick into it. A lot of natural lighting coming from these windows. You can kind of see there in the background. So that's basically what we used. So again, not really supplementing the lighting with anything, keeping it kind of natural, keeping it kind of raw. And then, so then the next transition, again, you can see here's Deep Ellum again. You've got the car going through, and then we go back to this interview kind of thing. Again, really nice angle here. He's doing a wrap for the thing. More interior, exterior shots, and then we went over to a studio. Now, this is the only part that we really did any kind of lighting, and it was kind of a last minute kind of thing. This is a very dark hallway otherwise, and so we just threw a light up just to have something. It's not the most attractive lighting. You can actually see the reflection of the light right there. And it was really just, we needed something really quick and dirty and something to go into. Like all these kind of projects, we were very pressed for time. We only had one day to shoot with Bino, and we only had, the one day to get everything knocked out. So this is him going into a recording studio, and here we are in the space. Once again, you can see there's a series of cutaway shots. So a tight shot of the mixer, and then this is the engineer. We had a female singer that was there, and again, kind of just showing him, greeting friends and whatnot. I don't recall if Bino actually worked with this engineer before, but this was a location that was found by the production team ahead of time, and again, we had no input on this, what the location was going to look like. I mean, most of the time in a music studio, you kind of know what you're going to get. You're going to have a mixing console, and you're going to have sound booths and whatnot. We did supplement the lighting in here, and there's a shot coming up, and you can show you the light right here that we used right here. So this is a Cineo Maverick light. We had a couple of those and just popped them in the ceiling. Sometimes your light just ends up in the shot, but it was such a quick shot that I'm sure that they didn't really care. And no one's going to notice unless you point it out. And so then what we had was I stayed outside with the console, and then Ron was on the inside in the studio space. So Ron would be filming that while I was filming out here, and we would have it all sunk up. So again, just kind of some nice shots, cutaways of everyone, kind of grooving to the music. And just kind of showing the space. Again, this is another one of those kind of situations where there was a single light here in the room, and it was shining down, and that's all that we had to work with. We didn't supplement anything in here either. And then this is a drone shot. This is kind of towards the end of the video here. Got the skyline shot. I did the drone, and then Ron was on the ground, and we've got this kind of group of people that is, we have like a DJ, and we got people that are coming out to come dancing and joining Bino and listening to his music. And what we did here is, you can kind of see in this right here, where are we? Right there. Oh, I keep missing it. There we go. You can see a headlight right there. We actually just used vehicle headlights to light the space. We were in a parking lot in Deep Ellum. Again, the great thing about Deep Ellum near Dallas is all these murals all over the walls. Adds a lot of dynamic to the whole thing. So you can kind of see this. This is all stuff that Ron shot. They added a little bit of filtering on the edges of this frame to kind of probably give it some more feeling. But it was just a matter of just kind of grabbing all these again. And I was trying to do drone at the same time, and I think most of the stuff didn't really work out too well. The problem, of course, is when you're doing drone and you're doing this, is that you've got the rest of the crew in the shot too. The drone was shooting kind of wide, so it was kind of difficult. But Ron really knocked it out here, just got this stuff done, and it's a good way to kind of finish out the whole video. So just there we go, multitude of shots, and then back to it. They added some nice text graphics to the wall, which looks really nice. And that was kind of the end of the video. So anyway, it was a real fun project to work on, actually. We had a really good time. And the director was super thrilled with the whole project, and I think kind of opened up his mind to using some different cameras besides Aries. I actually have an Arri camera now, so it's not like I've got anything against any camera manufacturer versus another one. But again, it's sometimes it's just down to budget. What you can use, what you can't use. So for this, it all worked out really, really well. But anyway, if you have any questions about this project or other projects, like I said, I'm trying to do more of these kind of videos, trying to share kind of more behind the scenes and how we do these kind of projects. This was another project. I do a lot of online marketing, a lot of online advertising, and this is something where the client reached out to me. It was kind of a cold reach out and just asked if I was available to do it. They liked some of my previous work, and from there we built this relationship and started working on this project. If you want to learn more about what I'm doing or how I do things, just reach out. Let me know something in the comments about what your thoughts are, and I'll look forward to sharing another one with you. Thanks.